names of the Qur'an. It is the habit and the taste of the Arabs that anything which they love more, or like more, or adore more, they give that thing many names. And this habit of theirs, we find, has been satisfied fully by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also in His eternal kalam. You know, Allah Himself has given Himself 99 names. We know Allah by His names. In the same way, we find there are many names of the Qur'an which have appeared in the Qur'an itself. Just as out of the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah is most famous. In the same way, out of the names of the Qur'an, Al-Qur'an is the most famous. But there are so many other names. Al-Qur'an, Al-Furqan, Al-Kitab, Al-Zikr, An-Nur, Al-Huda, and so on. Nearly 25 names have been given by Allama Jalaluddin Suyuti, rahimahullah, in his famous book Al-Itqan fi Ulum al-Quran. And all these names appear in the Quran. But I need not give you the full details of this list, only an impression. These are all names, and then adjectives are added to them. Al-Quran al-Hakim, Al-Quran al-Majid, Al-Quran al-Kareem. So actually, Al-Kareem, Al-Majid, Al-Hakim, Al-Mubin, Hamim wal-Kitab al-Mubin. Now these are the adjectives added. Now you can multiply the names with the adjectives. With Al-Quran we have Yasin wal-Quran al-Hakim, Qaf wal-Quran al-Majid, Saad wal-Quran al-Zikr, Quran al-Hakim, Quran al-Majid, Quran al-Kareem, bal huwa Quranun Majidun fi lawhin mahfuz, innahu la Quranun Kareemun fi kitabin maknoon, and so on. I must give you the meanings of the most famous name of the Quran, and that is Al-Quran itself. There are two opinions about the root of this word. Qaf, Ra, Noon, Qarn. Qarn means to bring something together. The same concept as we have in the English word composition. This composition, you compose your ideas and then you express them in a composition. That composition essentially contains and consists of sentences and words and so on. So actually, this Qarn, that is one opinion, that Al-Quran is derived from Qarn. The second and more famous, more agreed upon, that is from Qara'a. Qaf, Ra, Hamza, Qara'a. And this has also two meanings, but the more famous is to read. Qara'atu, I read. Iqra, read. So from Qara'a, Qur'an, it is the objective of Qira'at, something that is to be read, readable thing, something which is worthy of reading. We have on this scale other words also which denote to maf'ul. For example, Ghufran, Ghufranaka Rabbana. We ask you your forgiveness. Here it is maf'ul. Subhanaka Allahumma. Subhan, Ghufran, Rujhan. All these things, you know, on this very scale, on this very wazn as they call it in Arabic language. You have so many words. In the same scale we find Qur'an from Qara'a Yaqra'u. That is something to be read. So these are two famous opinions. There are other opinions also. And you know the likeliness of this name of Qur'an to the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The word Allah, the word Qur'an. Allah is also a word, a name of Allah, about which there is much controversy about the root. And the same is the case with Al-Quran. There are different opinions about the root of this word. The second most famous, Al-Furqan, Faraqa Yafruqu, something which divides other things, separates them. Faraqa Yafruqu. Al-Furqan, something which differentiates reality from falsehood. Haq min al-batil. What is false, what is real. Differentiation is to be made by Quran. So Al-Furqan. Then az-zikr, I told you last evening, remembrance, reminding, because the basic philosophy of the Qur'an is that the cognition of Allah, marfa, and love of Allah, both these are inherent in human souls. Every human being knows Allah, loves Allah. This is inherent in his soul, in his spirit, because the spirit comes from Allah. يَسَأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الرُّوحِ قُلِ الرُّوحُ مِنْ أَمْرِ رَبِّي. The only difficulty is that we are so much engrossed in this world, so much busy, occupied, that we never look to our hearts. We never try to hear the testimony of our souls emerging from the depths of our souls and hearts. What Qur'an does, it actually exhorts us and makes it easy for us to remember, to be mindful of what is there in your very nature. So that is the meaning of zikr. This is az-zikr, the remembrance or the reminding. Then al-kitab. The more common understanding of this word is something which has been written. Kataba yaktubu, to write. Al-kitab, written thing. But actually, we shall discuss it later, inshallah, during this study of our selected course of the Quran. That kitab in Quran means law. Because wherever there is a legal injunction of the Quran, the word has been used kutiba. Kutiba alaykum as-siyam. Kutiba alaykum al-qital. Inna salata kanat alal mu'minina kitaban mawquta. So whatsoever has been written, it is as if it has been decided finally. That's all. No more argument, no more discussions. Kutiba. And this is for something which has made obligatory for us. So actually, kitab means law, sharia. So this book contains law, sharia. Rather the final shape and the most complete shape of the sharia, which started with Torah. That was the beginning of sharia. And that sharia has reached its zenith and climax in the Quran. So this is al-kitab. Both meanings you can have before you. Both are valid. Something which is written and something which is obligatory, which is false, which has to be obeyed anyhow. An-Nur, the light. Because it shows you the hidden realities of this universe, to which, I referred in my last evening lecture, the philosophical quest in man. Who am I? What is this universe? What's the beginning or the end of this universe? What's the creation? Who am I? Wherefrom have I come? Born from the blue? And is death the end of my life or existence? Where do I go? Where do I go after death? Is that the end? What is good? What is evil? What is knowledge? All these are philosophical questions which have been haunting the minds of people, intelligent people. So actually, these are the hidden realities. They will never be explored by physical sciences. This is ghaib. That is why this word appeared in the very beginning of the Quran. Alif Lam Mim, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ. And let me quote here a saying of Confucius, the Chinese saint or sage or philosopher, whatsoever you may call him. He says in a very beautiful sentence, there's nothing more real than what cannot be seen. And that is nothing more, there is nothing more certain than what cannot be heard. This is the apparent world. But the reality lies beyond the scope of your senses and sense organs. This is the lab. Now, as we need light to see the facts of this world, material world, even if our eyes are okay, we can't see without light. In the same way, to be able to see and comprehend the hidden realities of this universe, you need an inner light, and that inner light is Quran. An-Nur. It reveals all the hidden realities of this creation, of this universe. In the same way, Al-Huda, that I discussed last night. Al-Huda, at the individual level also, how to build a healthy, normal human personality. Number two, how to establish a just social order. Al-Huda, we need guidance. Where to go, where not to go. What to do, what not to do. So this is the practical aspect of Quran, Al-Huda. It is the guidance. So I finish my discussion on this topic with this.